Well, that's okay. I will give you what the Catholic Church teaches.
Okay.
In paragraph 1241, I believe it is, in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, it actually addresses this and says, basically, we have reason to hope that those babies may go to heaven. But we do not have the same level of certainty that they will that we do when it comes to babies that are baptized. The Church leaves it rather mysterious, and I love that statement in the Catechism, Patrick, because it does not fall to the error on one extreme of saying that unbaptized babies automatically go to heaven, because that would be, let's say, as the culture says today, a slam against baptism and the importance of baptism and the reality of original sin on those baby souls. But at the same time, because as I think you know, Reggie, a person the Catholic Church has taught, for example, at the Council of Florence in the 15th century, the Church taught that a soul that dies with original sin alone on its soul would not go to heaven, but also could not go to the place of the damned. It would go to a place of sort of natural happiness, which, is not the beatific vision, so there is a real lack there, but it's a place of natural happiness for all eternity. Now, whether or not there are actually individuals in that state is a question the Church has not answered definitively. She says it is possible. So it is certainly possible that unbaptized babies could go. Now, that state of being has been popularized as limbo. The Church has never defined that. Limbo was commonly used for centuries in the Church and still is. I happen to be a believer in limbo, Patrick. But the Church doesn't use the term limbo. The Church simply says there is a possibility that an unbaptized baby who dies could go to that place of natural happiness. We know infallibly they can't go to hell. We know infallibly that if a baby still has original sin on its soul, it could not go to heaven. But, see, and here's, Reggie, very important. The Church teaches that we hold out the real hope and the possibility that those babies can attain to heaven through, and there are many different possibles here. For example, Reggie, there are people in pro-life, especially Catholics in the pro-life movement, who adopt aborted babies and pray for them, adopt them as their own children. Hence, baptism of desire is a possible. We have in our church, Reggie, the Feast of the Holy Innocents, where the fact that we celebrate them as being in heaven, even though they were slaughtered at 2 years of age and under, is also an indicator that there is hope for those who have died without baptism. But some way, somehow, Reggie, whether it's through the desire of those faithful who pray for them, and just in general the petitions we make for them, we pray that possibility, the great. That's just a couple of examples, Reggie, but that's where that reason for hope. We have reason to hope that God, who wills to save them, will in some way save them. But again, Reggie, we don't want to be presumptuous, and I think that's the big error today, Patrick, in my humble opinion. Mm-hmm. There are folks who, they're saved. They're saved, and it's not automatic like that. And the Church, in fact, explicitly says baptism is the only means that we know of, with the certainty of faith, that those children can go to heaven while we hold out hope for the rest. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yes, but one priest says that the Gospel of Life of Pope John Paul II says that the babies are with Jesus, and that's why he is interpreting it as they are in heaven.
I wonder if that's the number 99 of Evangelium Vitae, which was published and revised.
Yeah. So actually, Reggie, that's not true. The Pope John Paul never said that it's an automatic, those babies are going to heaven. So what you want to do is point them, whoever is saying this, to the Catechism of the Catholic Church that I think lays it out in a very, very balanced way. So we have reason to hope, Reggie. We don't despair for their souls, because as the Catechism says, we commit them into the hands of a merciful God who wills all to be saved, and God will do right.
Well, one priest says, St. Thomas Aquinas says that there's 5 means of salvation, and that's the basis that these babies are in heaven. And fathers of the church, Augustine, Basil the Great, Chrysostom, Damascene, the writings point to that. That's why.
This could be a very long list of church fathers and teachers that are cited. That well, let me point that. I would point out, Reggie, whoever is saying that. Now, I didn't quite get what she was saying. Is she still there? Is Reggie still there? Reggie.